Olivia. I blinked in confusion. Why do you want to get divorced? I asked, but he didn't respond. My eyes scanned through the papers and my pupils dilated in shock as I read the content. Alex had already signed his part and all that was left to finalize the divorce was my signature. I was confused because I wasn't expecting to get a divorce anytime soon. Sure, our marriage wasn't every couple's dream, but we got along pretty well. We tolerated each other. We were able to sleep next to each other at night. What is the meaning of this, Alex? I asked angrily, but Alex still remained quiet. Why are we getting a divorce? When did you get these papers? Today, came his short, flaccid response. I narrowed my eyes in confusion. It is because of her, right? I sniffed, holding back the tears that were threatening to fall down, but Alex scoffed. You want a divorce because of her, right? I added, my voice cracking slightly. He finally confirmed my suspicions. The necklace he got at the auction was for his ex-girlfriend, Tricia. All these while, he had been preparing the divorce papers for me. He didn't talk about it with me. He didn't think I deserved to know prior to preparing the papers. Did he even regard me as someone important in his life? Don't you think it's time we stop wasting each other's time? He seemed too calm for the words he just said, and I could feel my heart breaking each passing second. My vision got blurry when I heard him say those words. Don't you think it's time we stop wasting each other's time? I repeated his words in a whisper, trying to make sense of it. I was trying to process everything that was going on because it came as a surprise to me. When I looked up at him with a puzzled expression on my face, he continued speaking. Olivia, it is clear you do not love me, you never did. He cleared his throat and my lips parted in disbelief. What? I sputtered as I tried to form a coherent sentence. What do you mean? I asked. I loved Alex, I had always loved him. But there had always been a rift in our marriage because I'd always felt he didn't completely move on from his ex. I'm just trying to make things easier for us, for you. Of course, why didn't I see this coming? I asked rhetorically with a scoff. You've been looking for a way out so you can rekindle your love with her? You've been waiting for the opportunity and you think today is just perfect. I yelled at him while he sat there calmly. Olivia, this has nothing to do with my ex. He said. I haven't even seen Tricia in years. I laughed, but there was no humor in it, so what's the reason? Why do you want to do this? I couldn't go with the bullshit reason that he was doing this for me. If it was for me, why could I feel my heart breaking with each word that left his lips? You forgot our anniversary, you gave me mediocre presents. That's to show that you do not value this marriage. You never did. He was calm, too calm for the kind of conversation we were having. It was messing with my head. I was confused for a second because he also forgot our anniversary, but I was the one to blame. I knew the presents weren't really thoughtful, but he could have been a little more appreciative instead of dismissing my efforts just like that. I didn't know what to get him because he literally had everything he wanted. I'm sorry about the anniversary and the presents, but that isn't a good enough reason for you to end the marriage, I told him, hoping he would change his mind about the divorce papers. Olivia, just sign the papers. I've thought about it for a while and I've already made my decision. My throat immediately went dry as I swallowed. 5 years of my life were about to go down the drain, and for what? I didn't know what to say or do anymore. I couldn't stand there any longer, I couldn't look at him anymore. My world was falling apart and I couldn't do anything to stop it. Even if we didn't have the perfect marriage, I didn't want a divorce. I never thought about a divorce. It was heartbreaking and I felt really betrayed and hurt. With the file in my hand, I stormed out of the room. Alex looked like he had his mind made up and nothing I say was going to change anything. I wiped my eyes with the back of my hand to prevent the tears that welled up in my eyes from falling down my face as I trudged down the stairs. When I got to the living room, I picked up my phone from the table. I had left it there while waiting for Alex to return home. I needed to call my best friend to let her know what was going on. "Hey girl, I haven't forgotten about the party, I'll be there in time," Sandra said as soon as she answered the call. She thought I was calling her to remind her about the party Alexander's company was hosting the next day. "That's not why I called you," I responded, my lips trembling. "Why are you sounding like that? Is everything okay?" She sounded concerned, but her voice was also laced with curiosity. I hesitated for a moment and tried to steady my voice before responding. I didn't want to break down and cry while talking. "This evening." I cleared my throat and resumed speaking. "This evening?" Sandra interrupted. "What happened this evening?" "Alex gave me the divorce papers." I rushed out, knowing I'd probably cry in a few seconds if I didn't say it already. She was quiet for a few seconds as though it was hard for her to process as well. "What divorce papers? Why would he do something like that?" "I have no idea, Sandra," I released an exhausted sigh. "He said I didn't love him and we should stop wasting each other's time." A lone tear traveled down my cheek and I wiped it with another sigh. "I'm so sorry, Olivia," Sandra said sympathetically. "What are you going to do? Didn't you give him the anniversary presents? Why is he upset?" Sandra and I had picked out the presents when we went shopping earlier in the day. I paused for a few seconds and blinked before responding. He wasn't even impressed by the presents. My heart ached as my conversation with him replayed in my head. "I had a feeling he wouldn't like it when you picked it." Sandra was right. She had asked me to think of something else, but I was in a hurry and had to get something fast. 5 years of my life, Sandra. 5 whole years. I let out a humorless chuckle. "If the divorce is what he wants, then I'll sign the papers and move on with my life," I added. "I'm so sorry you have to go through this, Olivia." Sandra sympathized with me. "But are you sure you want to sign the papers? Are you sure you want to give up on your marriage?" "Yes, I'm sure." I lied. "It doesn't even feel like I'm married anymore, so there is no use fighting for it," I added, biting my lips. Sandra and I talked for a few more minutes before the call ended. The divorce papers were still in my hands. I didn't want to sign them, but there was no use holding on to someone who wanted to get rid of me. Just as I reached out to the table to get a pen, I heard footsteps from the staircase and Alex appeared. "Have you signed the papers yet?" he asked. I rolled my eyes at him and showed him the pen I had just gotten from the table. "I'm about to sign it," I replied and placed the paper on the table to sign. "Don't sign it yet." He stopped me and reached out to take the pen from my hand.